Mike, you went through a situation where, for lack of a better word, toxic, coming out of prison, a lot of controversy around you because of the dogfighting deal. Tony Dungy wrapped his arms around you and helped get you back into the NFL. That's what I want to see from Colin Kaepernick, a football person, him get involved with. And I think he needs to actually talk and put his name on what he feels about the NFL and wanting to play. I think he needs to speak for himself.
I think he really does. The first thing we got to get Colin to do is cut his hair. You know, I mean, listen, I'm not up here to try to be politically correct, but, you know, even if he puts cornrows in it, I don't think he should represent himself, you know, in that way in terms of, you know, just the hairstyle. Just go clean cut. You know, why not? You know, you're already dealing with a lot of controversy surrounding this issue.
That's a fascinating thing to hear you say, Mike.
That he needs to do is, you know, just try to be presentable. I mean, look, all the social media stuff that he's doing, look, we get it. We understand it. It's time for, you know, Colin to step up in a different way. And, you know, I think primarily the reason why he's not signed to a team right now is because of the last 2 seasons and not being as productive as everybody, you know.
Let me just ask you a question, because I kind of chuckled when you said he had cut his hair, because I just thought you didn't like the hairstyle. But you're actually saying that it represents something.
Yeah, I just think perception and image is everything. And listen, it's not the Colin Kaepernick that we've known, you know, since he entered the National Football League. And I'm just going off my personal experiences, but listen, I love the guy to death, you know, but I want him to also succeed on and off the field, and this has to be a start for him.
We got Michael Vick here, who had to struggle getting back into the NFL. You had an image problem.
Yeah.
And you were a guy that wore cornrows, wore the gold chains, played the whole hip-hop image.
Had an afro at times, even during the tough times. You know, it was something that people would whisper in my ear. You know, this is the way you're being perceived. But that wasn't me as a person. You know, I understand Colin, you know, he's a great kid.
Yeah, he is.
He is a great kid. And the reason he's not playing, it has nothing to do with, you know, the national anthem. I think it's more solely on this play. But, yeah, I mean, everything takes precedent, you know, in terms of image, perception. You know, you got to clean it up. You got to make sure you do it all right.
I can see people's heads exploding over social media right now. Michael Vick says Colin Kaepernick needs to cut. Thank you.
Always be honest.
And give the man the advice he needs to go back and get
that's
this
what I would
money.
tell Colin if we were sitting face to face and, you know, he wanted some advice from me, or if he asked me what do I think. Those are the words that may come out of my mouth in a different sense.
What would you say to people? Oh, so he's got to sell out to get back in the NFL. He can't keep it real.
It's not about selling out. When you're good and you're playing great, then you're going to be wanted. People are going to want to, you know, sign you. They're going to want to see you play. They want to see everything that you have to give. You know, in regards to him just not being signed right now, it has to do with the production over the last couple of years, and I continue to say that.
People were whispering in your ear that you needed to change your appearance when you were, and you wouldn't hear them at that time?
I didn't listen until the end, until I was going through the turmoil and the hardships, and it was very difficult. And then I started to see what was most important, and that was, you know, cleaning up, you know, changing my image, not just for public perception, but for the judge and what you know, everything that I was, you know, about to, you know, get involved in. So, you know, it was a difficult process, and it was one that I didn't like, but it was one that I had to accept.
If you look at yourself now, you look at Michael Vick back when he came in, compared to what you've been through and where you are now, what would you say to that kid?
My decision-making is different, and that's the part that I always wanted to work on in terms of bettering myself as a person. I knew at the end of the day, I can go 23 hours out the day and make all the right decisions, and then in the last hour, I can screw it up. And those are things that, you know, as a young guy, you don't get, you don't understand. And in reference to Zeke and his situation, I love the kid so much, and I appreciate what he do for the game of football. And I don't want to see him to continue to go through this. That's why I say he may need a life coach, somebody to be there on call to help him, you know, not have to go through these situations that's going to be detrimental to his career.